Welcome to another exciting episode of the Daily High. Gombawa from Tokyo. I'm sorry I've been away for a few days. If you knew what I'd been through, you wouldn't expect me to have arrived. It's been hard traveling. I'm here in the in-laws' house, and the internet's oh, there he is, Tom. Happy to be here. It's absolutely internet is fantastic here. I've just got this little situation over here in the corner. There's like a mess of cables, and if anything touches it or breathes on it, the internet cuts out. I'll go through my trades in a minute. I put a trade on this the minute I got here. I haven't traded for 3 days, and the minute I got here, I had the internet connected. I put a trade straight on, and then the internet cut out, and I was highly leveraged in a massive trade freaking out that for like an hour that my internet wasn't working. Finally, the internet came on. I just closed the trade, and made a good little profit for the day. And then immediately got back in when the market dropped a bit again, and about an hour later. So I'm in a trade right now. That's why I've got the bad camera on because at any moment I could close this
Yeah,
trade.
and,
So
and Matt was freaking out because he doesn't have a SIM card yet. So if his internet cuts out in his house, he can't exit the trade on his cell phone because he has no SIM.
yeah, I was just saying to my wife, we need to. Her mother has got like
This is a bad idea.
a non-smartphone, right? But she
Yeah.
does have internet. And I said, we need to work out like a code red or something. That if the internet drops out, I could code red, tether from her phone or something. This is not a good example of what you should be doing, but the market's moving. Tone, how are you, mate? Oh, I'm happy to be back. I tell you what, it's been a long time.
I'm good. I'm good. I got stranded in New York. I was supposed to be in Dubai, but then because of the geopolitical mess, I ended up canceling my flight, and then I was going to rebook the flight, but then Dubai right now is building a Nova's Ark, and to deal with their issues. And
Yeah.
so my Dubai trip got delayed again. I am going there on Monday. Well, it takes 24 hours for like everything, but I am going to Dubai and the Maldives venue to talk to them on Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah, I shouldn't keep this too long. It's just been a long time since I've seen you, so I'm happy to chat. But I saw Sami Loyal driving his boat around.
Oh, jeez.
It's a Land Rover, obviously, but it looked like he was driving a boat through the ocean, through the river. All right, let's get in the charts.
All right, let's get the
You,
charts.
I haven't even looked at it, so you tell me. You tell me. You go first. Oh,
All
I'm
right,
gonna have to
I'll
close
go
this
first.
trade.
I'll
All
go
right.
first. I'll go first. Keep an eye on your trade there.
Yep.
All right. So let me open the right window. Yep, here it is. Okay. So we are looking at, what are we looking at here? This is the 1-day chart. Okay. Let me yeah, I'll start with the 1-day chart. That's fine since it's up here. I really did not like yesterday's close and yesterday's swing low. Now, there is some good news here. The good news is that we bounced off of a nice round number of $60,000. That's a nice round number. That's also the only thing for me that's working in Bitcoin's favor, bouncing off of a round number. We have broken below what I had as the horizontal channel. And the other thing slowly working for Bitcoin is that we are approaching a daily MRI buy opportunity. Now, I would love for that daily MRI buy opportunity to be at the swing low, meaning that the low intraday low price happens either the candle before the MRI buy candle or of the MRI buy candle. I don't really like it when the swing low takes place the day after the MRI buy candle. It's still a legit reversal, but that's not what I want to see. But I don't want to see the swing low on the sixth candle. It makes it a lot trickier for me to catch a falling knife. So for me personally, I would rather see one more swing low take place on tomorrow's candle or on Saturday's candle. Now, tomorrow night is the halving. So tomorrow's candle will not make it to the halving. It will be the Saturday candle that will be the halving candle because candles end at around 7, 8 p.m. Eastern time, and the halving is scheduled for later than that. It's scheduled closer to midnight than to 8 p.m. right now based on block time. Therefore, I kind of remain bearish here. In yesterday's stream, I said I was bearish across all time frames. short and intermediate, I mean, not the long term, obviously, but all the short term time frames I was bearish on. My position has been reduced to quite low, and I would love to buy it at the perfect buy the dip. For me, the perfect buy the dip will take place in the $55,000 to $56,000 area. Now, on one of these charts, I had drawn a descending triangle, and in my video yesterday, I said I'm expecting, you know, a Bitcoin price of 6,000, but I meant a $6,000 drop, not that it would go down to 6,000. I don't know how anyone could get that confused. We did drop out of the triangle. We made it back into the triangle, but we still haven't broken above the triangle. We still need to get above the prior swing high for me to be for me to even consider a bullish trade. Like I said, in a perfect world, we would drop down to 55, 56, maybe touch the 128-day moving average, which is currently sitting at 54 and a half. Touch the 30-day moving average on the 4-hour chart, touch the 50-period moving average on the weekly chart, which is not a red star candle, which is not good. And all of that is sitting between 54 and 56,000. And I would like to see that happen in the next 48 hours, right? Because if it drags on, now we're dealing with a weekly MRI buy opportunity, and that can drag out for another 2 months. And that is not something I want to see. All right, I'm going to leave it there, and I'm going to hand it off to Matt.
Yeah, that's awesome, mate. You know, I was watching your show yesterday, and when you were calling for 6,000, I was having, you know, a bit of reminiscence of 2018 when you were 6,000. I was like, is he calling for 6,000 again? Is the old tone back in town? But no, I knew what you meant. I closed that trade a minute ago, so I was actually happy that you went first. So let's have a look at it. Let's have a look at it. I'll start with what I always do on the 4-hour time frame here. Give me a second, and then I'll go back to a broader scale because I'll work backwards in today's show. Man, I'm in a good mood. I'm happy that we're doing these shows again. It makes me feel good. Why is my stuff not loading? There it is. So I actually put a trade on at 61,000 just as I got to this house, as I said. And then when the price, it was here though, it was hit 61,000 here. And then the price jumped up. This is when the internet blacked out. And when the internet came back on, we were up at 62 or something, but then we started to fall and I was like, close the trade. Then I got back into the trade at 61,973. Oh man, we've just jumped in the last few seconds. And I closed that trade out just now at a 0.01 profit, and we've just bounced. It is erratic, this market. The reason I got into this trade back here at 61,000 and then closed it when we were dropping was because see how we came back up. We've done this thing. This is that old thing that we always do, where we're coming back up that with the lower highs and lower lows, where we keep touching on the 30 and can't crash above the 30. See, even right here, when we got back up here and stayed below the 30, and then that started to crash down, I actually thought that we would come back down to touch the 7 here. So I tried to get a good entry off the 7, but it moved really, really fast. And I was like, okay, this is going to completely recover within this 4-hour period, which it looks like it's doing. I'm glad I closed that trade. See how this is coming up, 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 up. I really, really expected this on this trade. But I am no longer in this trade, so I'm going to delete this line because it is upsetting me looking at it recover very quickly right now. Look at that. Look at it. Let's just watch it. This is what I expected to happen, and I just got out of the trade. Damn it. All right. All good. So this is really interesting to me. I was quite interested in this trade when we came back down, and for the first time we didn't go lower on this candle right here, and I thought that's a really good place to put a buy order in because there's a quite defined, well-defined stop loss back here, even though that is actually quite a significant distance between the entry and the exit price. I thought that that was still an interesting market structure and worth a punt on the trade. That's why I entered it twice, in fact, and now it's doing what it can do. I do think that with the halving coming on tomorrow, I really wanted to get into a quite a large position because I expected volatility. Not tomorrow, the day after tomorrow. I did expect a bit of volatility, and I thought a bit of FOMO might come in. This is just looking at Bitcoin in a vacuum right now. So if we start to get above that 63 mark, yeah, the whole market structure of these little downwards cycles change. going to up it to the 12-hour because it's really, really clear from when I looked at it for a second ago. It might have even been the daily. Let's just wait for this to load. Yeah, right. Exactly. When this came up, this is the 12-hour candle that just opened now. We came up and we touched exactly on the 7 simple moving average. So we're still below the 7. We're still below. We're respecting it the same as like the 30 on the 4-hour time frame. And then we came back down to the start of the candle. If we can get above the 7 simple moving average here on this candle, and then the next candle opens above it next, in a how many 10 hours time, I'm actually somewhat bullish on a move going into the halving at this point. Now, the market is extremely dangerous right now. So leverage is very, very be careful with your leverage. But I think that there's some wiggle room in this to the upside coming into the halving weekend. That's all I'm saying with this structure right here. But I'm going to go to the big scale right now, the weekly, because I just can't. I've done this before, Tone, so many times, and I think that you did the most guilty person I've ever seen do it, not respecting your own bloody indicator, and it was to be expected here when we came back up here. That was a real wrench. Well, see this? Is it loading on your end? There it is. Where's the
Yeah,
MRI?
loaded. Yep, right there.
You've called the absolute perfect top in
I know,
hindsight.
and I also went against my own indicator,
That's what
and
I'm
I went
saying.
back in on the candle after the MRI top. I also bought into the hype. Well, like, yeah, it's I really need to respect my own indicator more often. I should have just waited for the candle after, but it was rising above the MRI candle so early in that weekly candle, and I was just all hyped up on the weekly scale to reach into that $78,000 zone, that I did not respect the daily MRI top. Like when we go back to this chart in hindsight, it's going to be look how right the MRI was. But in real
Yeah.
time, man, this was frustrating.
We're all guilty of it. We're all guilty of breaking our own rules that we have set in stone. I mean, that was the most incredible top that we'll see.
Like, let's just
And
say the
then
bot, let's just say the MRI bot would not have done that, right? Like if I was to code an MRI bot based on the weekly chart, it would not have gotten long in that market. It would not have gotten long last week at any point.
yeah, fair call. Now look, this let's look at the weekly for a second. This is looks bad, obviously. Like it looks like a topping factor. But I think there's a high chance that this is it, that the low might be in. And I know that's a huge call to make, but my right here you can see that little dot right there. You might not be able to see it at 50 this week alone. At 57,500 is sort of my line in the sand. I'm still macro completely bullish. I haven't sold any of my long-term positions. I'm still very much excited about the price. The price is still rising now. I can't believe I closed that trade. But I think that there's some movement here going into the halving. I think there's going to be a lot of excitement with everything that's happening in Dubai right now, with all the groups and all that sort of stuff. I think that there's some room to the upside right here. The only thing that really concerns me is if we look at the S&P 500, or I like to look at the futures market here, but is it open yet? Oh damn, we're supposed to be in the best country in the world for internet. Why is this taking this time? Um, about the daily. Normally I leave the stock market for Tone, but I tweeted out on Friday last week, which was, if you just bear with me, right here. I tweeted out here, close your positions in the S&P 500. I did it on Twitter, and I'm sticking by that call. It's been a good call so far. Why I was so adamant about closing that position on the S&P 500. Look, the wave changed color. Look where the wave changed green, and look where we hypothetically got into that position if you were just following the wave. You've had a great, absolutely great trade. There is no reason to stay in the S&P 500 here on Friday. I think this will be one of my better calls, Tone. Why? Because look where the SARs, the modified lucid stars, have started printing from. If you close this position here, you can get back in the next week here. That's the risk. Is this move from here to here which is nothing, nothing. The risk on that trade alone is 2%. There's a 2% risk to close that position that was open back here at 430. Now, if this comes all the way back down, great, fantastic. You've just saved yourself all of that. You can recalibrate, get back in. Or if you're wrong, this is going to come down week by week. You might even get in at the same price. It is the perfect exit of the S&P 500. So I think that'll be a tweet that will be appreciated in a year's time. But we'll see. We'll see. That's all I have to say.
Can you go to weekly? Can you go to weekly?
Yeah, sure. Mm,
Yeah, no, I was just curious.
yeah,
No, so my target for the drop is there where you put your cursor, right?
yeah, right, the 30,
The
yeah,
prior swing high, yes. So,
right there.
yeah,
Perfect.
the S&P chart has turned bearish for now, but I think there will be some awesome buying opportunities if it goes that low, especially in some of the laggers. Like for example, Tesla is down big. Like some of the laggers of companies that you know are gonna come back. I'm not sure how Nvidia is doing. Nvidia will probably hold up, but some of the companies that will be really beaten up that were like lagging going into this top and now get extra beaten up on this drop. And I think some of these companies are going to come back.
Oh yeah, me too. I'm super bullish on the stock market. I just think that that was the time to close that trade. That's and I'll stand by that. We'll see how it works out because you can look at it right now. Even it was already a good move. If you got back in right now, it was already better than what you did. All right, that's all I have to say. It's going to take me a few weeks to set up properly and get a house and all that sort of stuff and get internet. But I'll come to you every night with Tone. It's going to be great. We got a massive stream coming. You announced it, Tone. Go ahead if
Yeah,
you.
I will do the stream on my channel this year. We'll see what happens at the next halving. We'll see. The last time I did a halving stream, actually, that was the greatest stream I ever did. Had the most viewers. It had 14,000 live viewers at the same time. That video has been watched 120,000 times. So that was the greatest stream ever on my YouTube channel. And yeah, hopefully we can repeat that on this halving. Invited a lot of people. Matt, you'll be joining us on there as well. I'll stream for 8 to 12 hours and we'll see how we do. We're going to start about 5 hours before the halving. But hey, like and subscribe this channel because I'm not sure how much longer there will be streams on the Legacy Tone Vase YouTube channel. So this is where you will find me going forward. And like, subscribe, follow us on social media and the Discord and sign up for the Discord.
Yeah, that's great. And to get into the Discord, all you have to do is use the affiliate links in the description below. We have 2bit and BitGet. All right. Fantastic, guys. What a wonderful show. Have a great weekend. No, we got one more day. One more day. What
Well,
day
one
is
more
it?
day for you. For us here in the US, it's tomorrow. For you in Japan, man, it's gonna be hard to say in Japan. I'm so used to saying Australia. The Aussie in Japan, for him, it's the day after tomorrow.
Yeah, it's only 30 minutes different in time than I was already at, so it didn't even help that much. But all right, good
Yeah,
night. Good
but at
night.
least, but at least you're not on that silly half hour off, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, ridiculous. All right. Good
All
stuff,
right, bye,
guys.
guys.